Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 3D Printed Gamer. What I wanted to share with you this time was a kind of start to finish look at printing an object. And in this case, I'm going to be printing my new brush holder, which is something that I created myself. And it might not look like it here, but this is actually a brush holder. This is actually half a brush holder, I should say. Half of the brush holder kit. And I created this because I'm in the process of organizing my shop and trying to become generally more organized. And I can't do that if I don't have places to put everything, especially those things that I keep at hand. And I had a brush holder that I got from one of the Games and Gears brush Kickstarters. And I liked the idea of it. I didn't like the design of it. I didn't like the construction of it. I didn't like the materials it was made of. All I really liked about it was the idea of having a brush holder. And so I decided to go ahead and design one myself. And so this is essentially, a real straightforward project that initially I created using the sketch tools. And, with the sketch tools, you can kind of just draw something out in 2D. And then when you're ready to go, see how that's just a single plane. But when you're ready to make it 3D, you can just extrude it and make it as thick as you need. So that's essentially what I did here, and at some point I might go through the whole process of designing something. But, this took a couple of tries to get it to where I liked it. The first time I did it, I kind of just eyeballed the whole thing. I sat down and I was at my desktop and I thought, you know what, I really want to do the brush holder. And so I just started designing it without having measured anything. It was all just guesswork on my part. And I gotta say, I got closer to right than I thought I would. The thing I screwed up was the size of the brush holder areas. They were super tiny. They weren't going to work at all. These are actually much bigger than a standard brush, but what's nice about that is it means that you can also use it to hold small brushes as well as large brushes, as well as X-Acto knives or sculpting tools or whatever else. And these two pieces here are essentially the pieces that hold everything together. And of course there needs to be 4 of them, 2 for the back, 2 for the bottom. And that makes the thing really bulletproof. I mean, it probably doesn't need that much support, but since one of the things I didn't like about the brush holder I had before was that it was so flimsy, is I figured I might as well make one that was bulletproof. And then once I had this done, I just saved it as an STL file, and you just do export as 3D. And by the way, this is Autodesk's 123D design, which at the moment is my go-to 3D designing tool. Certainly not the only one out there, but it seems to do what I need it to do right now, and I'm enjoying using it. But anyway, you export that as an STL and just save it to my desktop, at which point we go to Cura. And Cura, as I think I mentioned in my last video, is a slicer. This is the program that tells the printer what to do. And so then I would just load my model file, which I had just saved. And there it is. And this checkerboard pattern here represents the size of my print bed. So as you can see, I kind of made it as big as I could possibly print it. which was kind of the idea. I knew the size of my print bed when I designed it initially, and so I knew that I wanted to be able to make it as large as possible to fit on that bed. And so from here, you're able to then choose the material that you want to use. The way this is broken up is to make it as simple as possible for new users. So material ease of use is your first drop down. And I'm on the beginner setting. And the only reason I'm on the beginner setting is because that's where PLA, which is the material I'm going to be printing with, that's where it is. And then you could also select how fast or how high of detail that you want to print. I've been printing these at standard, which is about 100 microns of vertical layers, the height of the vertical layers. I could do it at high speed, which does it at 200 microns, or high detail, which does it at 50 microns. But on the high speed, I don't like how it looks, and at the high detail, it seems unnecessary and, you know, slower than it needs to be. So the standard works just fine. And then there's a couple of other options down on the lower left here, and that is the print support structure or print brim. And these are both options that if you have a model file that has overhangs that you need to provide support for, you would add a support structure. And a brim is essentially, I think, and I haven't done it, but I'm pretty sure that is essentially like a piece that you lay down on the bottom below your finish piece that kind of helps it stick to the build plate. And that's a guess. And again, I'm kind of a beginner here, and I think that's usually called something else, which means that I might be wrong about what that is. Anyway, I could also take this over to expert mode and switch to full settings. Sure, let's do that. And then that gives me a whole bunch more control over what I'm going to be doing. I can control the print speed, the printing temperature, the bed temperature. Oh, that's interesting. The types of support. Oh, I never even, oh, you know what? Oh, there you go, brim and raft. Raft is the other term I was thinking of for the piece that goes underneath. The diameter of filament and the percentage of flow, all kinds of things. All kinds of things. Plugins, and what your G code looks like. This is essentially the code that's going to run as you print. Most of this stuff I've never looked at because it hasn't been necessary. Over here, if you look, you know, right up there, it tells me in advance that this is going to take me about an hour and 53 minutes, really about 2 hours to print. And it's going to take up 4.28 meters or 34 grams of material. And I've found these numbers to be pretty accurate overall. I've been able to predict when prints are going to be done. I think it tends to be a little bit on the low side in terms of predicting the time, but in terms of the amount of material, it seems to be right on. So that's pretty cool. But then I'm going to hit Control, that button right there, and this lets me set the bed temperature and the melt temperature for the material. And once that's all set, I just hit Print, and it's ready to go. So why don't we go ahead and do that, and I will show you a little bit of this printing at really high speed, because you really don't want to watch it do it at in real time. Who has 2 hours to watch a thing print? Not I.
None shall pass.
All right, so here we go. So now I just need to get it off. So once I've printed out a second half, then all I need is a little bit of super glue, and I've got myself a brush rack. And you know, this is really the best part of having a 3D printer. It's not so much the cool fun things that you can make, although those are great too, but it's the idea that you can think of a thing that you need and then make it yourself. Which is not to say that there aren't other ways of approaching that. There certainly are. There's an endless number of craft skills that one could have that you could find useful in other ways. It's just that I find this approach a lot easier than many other approaches. Could have made this out of wood, could have made it out of plastic without a 3D printer, could have made it out of cardboard. I mean, really, there's certainly a lot of ways that one can approach this. I really like being able to do this. I like being able to have that certain amount of precision that you can get out of a 3D print that I would not otherwise be capable of, or at least not as easily as I can do it here. This is something that took me, well, you know, it probably took me a few hours to get the design just right. And the printout is probably, you know, 4 hours per. But again, the print time is only time that I can't be using on printing something else. It's not time wasted for me. It's not, you know. Anyway, so if you like this thing, and look, here's a black one. With brushes on it. It's gonna fall, I know it. If you like it and want one, I am now selling them on my website. Patreon subscribers got first crack at them, and I have a bunch of the clear ones like this ready to go. But I can also print black, and I could even do a limited number of white ones right now because I still have some white plastic. Although, honestly, don't know how good the white ones would look. The black ones are pretty badass. And I have two black ones myself, but I really like the frosty clear ones. They're not really clear, as you can see, but they are translucent, and you hold them up to the light, and you can see the inner structure of the print. Well, you can't see it right now, but you can see how the 3D printer chooses to save on plastic by providing kind of a almost honeycomb structure underneath the surface. But that's it. So if you want one, you want to buy them, I'm selling them for 20 bucks on my website, jadon.com. I will provide a link somewhere around here somewhere that will take you straight to the website, and you can purchase one right now. And you know, I may use these as giveaways in the future. But yeah, and if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can get 20% off. So that's going to do it for now. Thank you everybody for watching. Hey, if you have any suggestions for things you would like to see related to the 3D printer, let me know. I think what I'll end up doing without any other sort of input from you is we'll look at some of the cool things that I've found to print and other things that I have designed to print, and we'll walk through the sort of ins and outs of doing that. And I have been doing not just terrain stuff. I have done terrain stuff, but I've also been experimenting with things that I think won't work well, and in many cases don't. And I have been doing prop stuff. I just did a Judge Dredd badge that turned out pretty cool, and I might show you that in a future video. But that's going to do it for now. If you like this video, please be sure to click like on the video. And if you want to make sure you see more of these videos in the future, please hit subscribe. Hey, you know what? And if you dislike the video, let me know why. I get one or two of those every now and then. And sorry about that. Bugs. I get one of those every now and then, and I'm always curious because it doesn't happen very often. And so if you didn't like my video for some reason, let me know. I may not be able to change it, but I'm always curious. That's going to do it for now, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.